Good. All right. Good morning, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'm pleased to be here with Nate Glubish, Minister of Technology and Innovation, and Adrianna LaGrange, Minister of Primary and Preventative Health Services. We're all familiar with the fast pace of technological change and the need to unlock the full potential of breakthroughs. Government's goal is to use advances in technology to make life simpler, easier, and more convenient for Albertans. And I'm happy to say we are doing that with a new app. It's called the Alberta Wallet, and it's designed to let you carry and manage government-issued documents on your mobile devices. And if you choose to use the wallet to interact with government services, you can call up personal information on the spot. And with it, we're going to be able to address the ongoing embarrassment of the flimsy paper Alberta healthcare cards. The new mobile health card is the first of its kind in Canada, and it functions exactly like the existing paper one does. It has the same information, and you can show it or scan it at hospitals and clinics as proof of health insurance coverage in Alberta. Parents can add their kids' cards to their own wallets, and spouses and partners can do the same for each other. It's a solid start, but there are two things I want to emphasize about the Alberta Wallet and the mobile health card. One is trust. And a tool like this depends on the trust of its users. Our top priority is protecting Albertans' privacy and personal information. The wallet and mobile health card are designed with strong encryption and security features. You are always in control of your information. Only you can access it, and only you can decide where and when to share it. There's no tracking involved either. Government can never see when or where or how you use the wallet or what is in it. The second thing I want to be clear about is that this is voluntary and it's your choice. We completely understand that not everyone is comfortable with computers and mobile phones. If you prefer a physical card, you can keep using them, and we will also have a more durable option for that next year too. But for those of you who prefer digital options, the Alberta Wallet is for you. It makes government devices faster and smarter. So many of us have added our debit cards and our credit cards, our membership cards, our insurance pink slips, or countless of other documents into our phones for ease of use and convenience. The Alberta Wallet works in the same way, and it means you don't have to worry about misplacing important documents and spending time getting replacements. Everything you need will be in the same place, and it's entirely your choice about how to use it. Our world is digital, and people have embraced this in droves. We developed the Alberta Wallet because Albertans expect their government to keep up with them. So we are adapting to an always-on, high-speed digital future, and we're showing the rest of Canada how it's done. I am looking forward to expanding what the wallet can hold, making life even better for Albertans. But for now, I'll ask Minister Nate Glubish to take over and share more details about the wallet. Please go ahead, Minister.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Premier. Look, Alberta is one of the most innovative jurisdictions in Canada, and it's not by accident, it's by design. And that continues today with the launch of the Alberta Wallet and Canada's first mobile health card. The Alberta Wallet is a convenient, private, and secure way to carry your Government of Alberta-issued documents. And the first document available, as the Premier mentioned, for the wallet is the mobile health card. Both the wallet and mobile health card will offer Albertans more flexibility in how and where they want to use their official Alberta documents. I hear all the time from Albertans who ask, when can we get rid of our old paper health cards? Well, with the Alberta Wallet and the mobile health card, now you can finally ditch that piece of paper. Now you have a more secure option right on your mobile phone. I want to be clear, this will always be optional and never mandatory, because I know that many Albertans will be excited to try this new service, and others would prefer a physical card. That's okay. You will always be in control of which option you choose. Security and privacy and data protection were our top priorities in developing both the Alberta Wallet and the mobile health card, and both were designed to meet Alberta's strict privacy laws along with national and international standards. This means no one can track when, where, or how you use your documents, and your information cannot be accessed or shared without your consent. The Alberta Wallet is available starting today on both the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, and I encourage all Albertans with a verified alberta.ca account to download the app and try it out. To add your mobile health card, you will need a My Health Record account. And if you want to know more on how to set this up, you can visit alberta.ca/wallet to learn more. This mobile health card is just the first step in our plans to make government services better, faster, and more efficient. And over time, we will be adding other documents to the Alberta wallet to offer Albertans more convenience and flexibility. In the future, the wallet could include other documents like marriage or birth certificates, high school or post-secondary transcripts, journeyman or trade certificates, and much more. I'm proud to have worked with Minister LaGrange on the Mobile Health Card initiative, and I'm looking forward to sharing more of the things that we will be adding to the Alberta wallet to solidify Alberta as the most innovative jurisdiction in Canada. Thank you, and I'll now pass this over to my colleague, Minister LaGrange.
Thank you, Minister Glubish, and good morning to everyone. As Premier Smith has announced, we are pleased to be providing Albertans with a new mobile health card option. So this mobile health card will be followed in 2026 with the availability of a new integrated plastic card. Albertans have told us they have concerns about the durability and the convenience of the current paper health card. We agree. It's time for a better solution. I am proud to be part of this initiative, offering a new mobile health card that meets the needs of Albertans in an increasingly digital world. So the benefits are clear for Albertans, for healthcare providers, and for our healthcare system. For Albertans, the mobile health card provides convenient, reliable access to critical health information anytime and anywhere. Immediate access ensures that they can receive care efficiently and fully without unnecessary delays. For healthcare providers, verifying coverage becomes faster and simpler. No more time spent tracking down personal healthcare numbers for patients who don't have their card on hand, time that can now be devoted directly to patient care. And for the healthcare system overall, streamlined processes and reduced administrative burdens means fewer errors, more efficient resource use, and a stronger, more reliable system for everyone. Alongside the new mobile card, we are also introducing a new health card renewal process. Regular renewal confirms that only eligible Alberta residents can do have access to insured physician and hospital services, helping limit misuses and manage costs responsibly. It also addresses a recommendation from the Auditor General to strengthen our ongoing eligibility processes. Alberta's government is delivering on its promise: modern, convenient health cards that benefit Albertans, support healthcare providers, and strengthen our system. I'm proud that Alberta is leading the way in this important initiative, and we look forward to your questions. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you. We'll now head into the media Q&A portion. We'll start off with questions here in the room before making our way to the phones. Reminder, we'll be taking one question, one follow-up, and please state your name and outlet before your question. We'll start off first with the mic.
Hi, Matt Skase, Canadian Press. On the app announcement today, you mentioned steps that are being taken to ensure personal information is safe. Can you give some background on how this was developed, who was involved in developing this?
Let me turn that over to Minister Glubish, who was our lead.
Thanks.
Sure, thank you for the question. So we led the development of the wallet in the core infrastructure that will be the repository for these government-issued documents. And then we partnered with Minister LaGrange's department on the issuance of the mobile health card into that wallet. So we've built the standards and the security and the encryption and all of the systems that these that these government documents will be issued in accordance with. It is all in alignment with our world-class privacy legislation and protections in this province. For me, it was as simple as this. If we are going to give a tool like this to Albertans to use, I want to make sure it's something that I'm comfortable using, and I want to make sure that there is no chance that that anybody can see how I'm using this card, using this wallet. That's up to me. And so that's what I'm confident that I can tell to Albertans is that you are in control of how you use this. Government can't see how you use this. We are simply there in the same way that today our job is to issue a paper card to prove that you are an insured Albertan to have access to the healthcare system. Now we also can offer a mobile option to say we will issue you that same proof that goes into your mobile phone that you can show and interact with the healthcare system.
Great, thank you. Question for the Premier. Just circling back on the books that were released by Edmonton Public School yesterday. It wasn't released by them, but it came out. We understand your objections to certain graphic content in certain books. But this includes, obviously, Margaret Atwood, Brave New World, Maya Angelou. Do you have issue with the books that are on this list, and what next steps are you looking to take?
Look, I think I'm going to have to show the screen here, because people aren't kind of getting what it is we're trying to do here. We are trying to take graphic pornographic images out of elementary schools so that kids are not exposed to age-inappropriate material. So I'm going to leave it on for 15 seconds. I'm warning you that the content may be disturbing and it's not appropriate for young users. Viewer discretion is advised. I know that the cameras probably can't print it on the evening news tonight without probably facing some kind of Broadcast Standards Council complaint. And I know that I would get delisted from Facebook for showing these kind of images on Facebook because they're pornographic. That is what we are trying to address. There's another one here. Please take a look at it so that, and I'd invite all of the school trustees to take a look at it too. We have tried to be as polite about this so that people understand what it is. Here's another one so you can have another look at the kind of material that we think should not be exposed to young children aged 7 years old. And I think we've got one more that we would like to show you as well. Here is another example. So I don't know how much more clear we could be that what we are aiming to, this all began because these were the images that parents were showing us that were accessible to children in elementary school libraries. And so we asked school boards to use their discretion to identify books that might not be age appropriate for elementary school children. And then and Edmonton Public is clearly doing a little vicious compliance over what the direction is. And so if they need us to hold their hand through the process to identify what kind of materials are appropriate for senior high school students, what kind of materials are appropriate for junior high school students, and what kind of materials are appropriate for elementary school students, we will more than happily work with them to work through their list one by one so we can be super clear about what it is we're trying to do. We are trying to take sexually explicit content out of elementary schools that is inappropriate for me to show on the television news at night, and so it is inappropriate for 7-year-olds to see. That's what our objective is.
Thank you.
And we'll go to our next at the mic.
Hi, Premier. Mark Villani with CTV Calgary. You've pretty much answered my question. I had a similar question to the book ban. I just wanted to ask about, some of those other classic texts.
And no, it's not a book ban.
Pardon me, sorry?
It's not a book ban.
I just wanted to ask about this list here. One of the books on the list was Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. I know in the past you've said that Rand is a hero and a guiding light of yours, documented as far back as the 2010 and 2012 elections. Just any thoughts on that book being removed from this list, and any other classic texts that are concerning to be taken away?
I didn't read Atlas Shrugged until I was 22. I had a friend in grade 10 who read it. Maybe we should make it mandatory reading in high school because it is a pretty influential book, and I think it does really articulate how important it is that we value our entrepreneurs and we value a free enterprise economy. So maybe that should give you some idea. Maybe you don't read passages of Ayn Rand in kindergarten reading time, but maybe when you get to be in junior high or high school, the level of understanding about the concepts in there are absolutely appropriate for school children of that age.
Hi, my name's Leah Mushett for the Western Standard. I was going to ask you similarly about the public school, Edmonton public school thing. Also, do you think that the board there, like banning those classic books, not the sexually explicit ones, do you think that's also a way for them to kind of point the finger at the government at all? What do you think?
Well, we trust the judgment of our school boards, and that's because we do have a more decentralized system. And they've identified books that, in their interpretation, may have problematic content. And so my education minister has pledged to work with any school board who might be confused about what it is we're trying to accomplish so that we can go through and we can identify which school books are appropriate for elementary, which are appropriate for junior high, and which are appropriate for high school. I think that they've overreached on this policy. They've obviously put books on there that there was never any intention of having them target those books, but I think we need to exercise a little judgment here. I think we made it super clear, the things that prompted this policy, and if we need to be a bit more graphic, there's lots of other images, but that's the point. Graphic images depicting the kind of acts that I just showed in the video are not appropriate for elementary school kids. That's our starting point. And if we need to refine the policy with the school boards because they're not understanding it, then we will go through that with them.
Okay, thank you.
And we're going to take a few questions to the phone and then try and come back here to the room. Operator, could you put through our first caller, please?
Your question comes from the line of Jan Emmanuel, fourth year from Radio Canada. Please go ahead.
Hi, Premier. Thank you for taking my question. Slightly off topic, but the Prime Minister just announced that the Major Projects Office will be headquartered in Calgary, also headed by Don Farrell, that I think you know very well. Can we have your reaction on that?
Well, I can tell you I have great respect for Dawn Farrell. Not only did she take over a very difficult situation with getting Trans Mountain Pipeline to the finish line successfully, I might add, but she also has an incredible career in corporate Calgary with TransAlta, and I count her as an advisor. So I'm very pleased that the Prime Minister and I have something in common. He's going to count her as an advisor as well. And I think it is important that they've then made the decision to headquarter it in Calgary, because I think that it's very clear that some of the projects that we've been stymied by with Bill C-69 are from Calgary-based companies wanting to build pipelines. And so I think that she's going to be in the right place, in the right city, doing the right job, and I'm looking forward to working closely with her.
Yes, thank you for that, Premier. My second question will be to Minister LaGrange. If I may, you mentioned the renewal process for health insurance cards. How is that going to work out? Would people need to go to a registry or give some sort of information? Do you have any bit more details on that, please? Thank you very much.
Well, I can tell you what we're trying to do. We're trying to get rid of these things. This is how I've been carrying mine around, with a broken plastic cover. I think it's a bit dog-eared on both sides and doesn't have my address information. I can tell you a couple of problems that we've had. I mean, sometimes if you register with one hospital, they don't have your information when you go to another one. That is all going to be solved right now with the wallet. And then the next step is making sure that we've got a comprehensive card that's durable, a plastic card that is going to be synced up with the driver's license, so all of the information is going to be in one place. We'll have a lot more to say about that when it unrolls next year. We had to make some major changes to our registration system to accommodate the additional information that's going to need to be on the card. We had to redesign the card, but I think we're targeting the end of next year in 2026. So in the meantime, people can continue to use their paper card or they can use the digital wallet, but we will have something far more durable by the time we end next year.
Perfect. And operator, could you put through our next caller, please?
Your next question comes from the line of Chris Varco from Calgary Herald. Please go ahead.
Hi, Premier. Just to follow up on the question about the Major Projects Office being based in Calgary and headed by Don Farrell, what do you think this might mean or will mean for the Alberta government's plans to get a new oil pipeline built to the BC coast and included on that list?
Well, I would say I don't. It would be an unusual choice to choose a woman who's built a pipeline to the northwest or to the north or to the BC coast and center a project in Calgary, where all the pipeline companies are, if you were going to say no. So I would say that is an encouraging sign that some of our messaging is getting through. And I say some of our messaging because let's remember, you can build a shiny new pipeline, but you need to have producers willing to put stuff in it. And one of the issues that we face with the Trans Mountain Pipeline is the tolls are very high because the project went massively over cost. And so we need to make sure that we're building efficiently so we can keep the tolls lower. I mean, it shouldn't be cheaper to transport oil by rail than it is by pipeline. So that's one thing I would say. And so we're going to continue to work on putting forward a proposal. But we know that, and we've heard this from all of our producers, that as long as there's an emissions cap, it acts as a production cap. And it's not just us saying that. There's at least 3 different reports that came out that said the emissions cap with the stringencies they're proposing would cause us to reduce our production by 2.1 million barrels a day by 2035. How do you talk about increasing your egress if you have policy that's going to act to reduce existing production, let alone increase it? The other problem, of course, is that we'll have to get around the tanker ban. There's no point in building a pipeline if you can't load it on a ship. And some of the other offensive policies that we've raised 9 bad laws that we think are going to be necessary to repeal or substantially revise in order to get the business investor confidence back. So, yes, great for us to be looking like we might be able to make some progress on getting a pipeline or more on that major projects list, but it doesn't solve the underlying problem of the shattered investor confidence because of 10 years of terrible lawmaking by the Liberals.
Just to follow up on that, Premier, Trans Mountain is looking at its own new plans to add some capacity and optimize their current system. Do you think that those plans should also be deemed to be of national interest and put on the federal major projects list?
Well, I would hope that we can all agree that the answer to that is just yes, that we shouldn't have to have some kind of special workaround process in order to expand the egress on an existing pipeline. I mean, there's some very simple things I understand that they can do by adding additional lubricants, by doing compression to get it up to, I think, 1.2 or 1.3 million barrels per day. And we just say, bravo, let's do it. I don't think that needs to go through some kind of special status. I think that you've got myself and the company and the Premier of British Columbia and seemingly the federal government alignment on that. So that should just go ahead. I think the projects list should be the things that have been stalled out for years and years and years with no pathway forward to be able to get approval. And so I would say that greenfield development kind of falls on those lines, whether it's for a pipeline or a transmission line or a mining project. Those I would expect to be the kind of things that would go through this special process. I would hope that we would just all agree that let's support Trans Mountain in being able to expand that egress and not have to go through that step.
Thanks, Chris. We have time for 2 more questions. We're going to take our last caller from the phones, then come back here to the room. Operator, could you put through the next caller, please?
Your next question comes from the line of Fahim Mohammed from Post Media. Please go ahead.
Hello, Premier. Briefly on the school libraries issue. I think most Albertans are on side when it comes to some of the graphic images found in graphic novels. Actually, there's survey data to that effect. But my understanding of the ministerial order is it treats images as interchangeable with written descriptions, and I think that might be opening the door for some of these sorts of bad faith interpretations. Is there any potential of changing or tightening up some of that wording in the order?
Yeah, I mean, if there is some lack of clarity, we'll make sure that we're going through with clarity. But let's be clear, like, we don't want 50 Shades of Grey being in the schools either. That's clearly pornographic material. So let's be clear that there are certain things that make a reference to adult behavior that are perfectly within bounds, but then there are books that are in a genre written for pornography, and that is probably outside the bounds. So I think most people, I didn't see 50 Shades of Grey on there, thank heavens. It means they're already not in the school library. So we've already demonstrated that the school boards do have some discernment. They know that there's a difference. And so I think that we're seeing a little vicious compliance here. I think they're being I think they've been overly aggressive at what they've put on there, and it helps us launch a conversation about when these books should be introduced at what grade. And I think that parents want to be involved in that conversation. So we'll work with them and any other school board that's having problems interpreting the minister's direction.
And unrelated follow-up, Mr. Jeffrey Raff of the Alberta Prosperity Project, he's openly recruiting separatists on social media to join the UCP with the intention of stacking the party's board with separatists at the next AGM. Can you say whether Mr. Raff is presently a member in good standing, and will you be vetting people who buy UCP memberships for any sort of sentiments relating to separatism that they've been expressing online or in other domains?
We think that these kinds of issues need to be put forward through a citizen-initiated referendum process. We are a political party that focuses on the things where we agree. Our political party is an act of political will, bringing together 2 different cultures. And one of the foundational principles was that we will pursue Alberta autonomy within a united Canada. And that is what I have been, that is my marching orders. That is the terms under which I recruited my candidates. That's the terms under which all of my caucus members got elected. And unless that changes through a public referendum, there's no change in our party policy.
Thank you. And we have time for one more question. We'll come back here to the room. Go ahead.
Hi, Premier Edward from City News. I'm just wondering, have you been in touch with the Edmonton Public School Board since they have this list? And also, are you aware of any other school boards that have a similar list as well, too, that is this lengthy?
I think we had heard that Red Deer Public was going to be releasing its list today, and I think I've asked the minister to reach out to see if they can work together to make sure that they understand the policy and the age appropriateness that we're trying to reinforce. And I believe that I've also asked the minister to reach out to Edmonton Public. I'm sorry, I don't know if he's had a chance to make those calls yet, but he will be reaching out to any school board who's struggling with understanding the interpretation of the policy.
And what could that reaching out look like in terms of the minister talking to school boards? What would that result in?
Well, I can imagine that they'd probably have to develop a working group and look at these books and go through and see the passages that were identified, and then probably have a conversation about what level is appropriate to have those books introduced in a K-12 environment. As I said, like there's some books that are perfectly fine for high school, some that you might want to have a second thought about for junior high, and some that are not appropriate at all for elementary. And so that's the kind of discernment that we're expecting from our school boards. That's why we have them doing this kind of work. And if they need help, the minister is more than happy to help guide them.
That's all the time we have today. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.